Alright, so this is not what we're making today, but I just wanted to show that off a little bit. Sadly, had kind of a major problem with it. I will be revisiting it probably at some point in the future, but yeah. The phaser is one of those things I might have to let go. We'll see. Anyway, it is currently saved, and we're going to just start a brand new file here. So, boom. Here we go. This is Plasticity 2025.1. Been waiting for this guy for some time now. Still haven't seen the full capability, but, you know, new UI and all kinds of stuff, so it's cool. I might bumble around a little bit just because I can't remember where the new stuff is. But yeah, still very cool. Let's get our camera up and working here so you can see my lovely, lovely face. And I'm just going to move, I don't know, that in particular down to the left, grab this over here. Now you can, you know, move all this stuff around in here, which is pretty cool. And yeah, cool. Well, let's get working on something here. Not exactly sure where I'm starting, but I think probably wheels or frame. So it's going to be medieval style, and not even medieval fantasy, most likely. I think I'm just going to plot out with a square here. Let me just grab this from the center, and we'll do kind of a, I don't know, rectangle might like so. Okay, this is just giving me some kind of a, you know, a place to plot this out from. What it looks like, I think I'm gonna make some struts that go across. I'm just kind of imagining this in my mind as I go at this point. So let's just leave it on that. I'm gonna center line this so I can see that a little easier. Probably do the same thing go in the other direction. I just like to make this these lines a lot brighter, if that makes sense. Okay, let's get our little cross beams in here. I'm going to probably go in fact, let me move these couple of points and snap them a little more to the grid, because I think it would be nice if they were a little more lined up with those other grid points. It just kind of helps you not have to guess how many squares certain things are. So I'm just going to pull that back into that one a little bit like so. And then I'm just going to start hacking this sucker up like so. And we're going to mirror a lot. So with this this here, I think we're just going to pull this section up and give us like three squares up. We had 3 squares across, essentially. So now we have basically a giant post, kind of like a 4x4 type post. And we are going to just flat out mirror that across. So with that selected, I'm just going to Alt-X. I'm going to flip it this way. Good to go. And then we're going to, from the top again, approximately, you know, 3 squares. I could have just used a rectangle at that point. You get the idea. I'm going to do the same thing. Looks like my line, for whatever reason, did not take. Probably the way I quickly jerked that mouse at the very end. Looks like I made it toward the top. It doesn't matter, you know, which direction it's being made from. And then we're going to pull this down and snap it to the bottom. Then I'm going to take this and Alt-Exit to the side. We're going to start with this. I'm going to go ahead and kill this rectangle. It's not, that one's not being needed. nor is this one. Whoops, we did need that, but not the actual rectangle here. So let me delete that guy. All right, and then there is, I believe, one more here that we don't need, and I think there's a couple more. That one, I think we're good now because we just have our two center lines. We can lock those in place if we want to, just so we don't accidentally select them. And now we have this. Now, I know in all the experience I've had in trebuchet building. Now, it's funny because I actually have built trebuchets and catapults in real life, small ones, smaller ones than life size. There's a few things that definitely are going to be required. So I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to make a, let's go 1, 2.5, because that will essentially be our 3 wide, if you get me. And that's going to be something like this. And we're going to pull that one up to the top of these others. You can see how this is cutting because it is crossing through those planes. Not a big deal because it just makes it anyway as long as you select all of them. And so now we have this center board here that we may or may not just want to like peg in from the end, or we may want to tinker toy it kind of together like a kind of like a joint. I'm going to still decide on that here in a little bit, but we do need some angle supports diagonally here. Definitely would have these. And let's go about, where's our 45? That's 70. Let's go with, that does not look like a 45-degree angle to me. It certainly does not. So something around here. I'm kind of wondering why it's reading that at not 45. Very weird. Oh, okay. We're going to be doing it from the other side is why. This will, let's go ahead and kill that and try to do a 45 by coming in from this side and then just dropping back out until we see the number 45. And in fact, we can hit tab again and type 45 in there, and it will make a nice 45, which is what we want. And now I'm just going to go across to here. Is that T I hear? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to try and come from this corner and go straight out. And the point of this is just so we can get a approximation of its width. So with that sticking out, we should get about three of these squares, not the diagonals though, but 1, 2, 3, which I'm going to make another little gauge for, which I could have probably just done this instead of 1, 2, and 3 squares. This is going to act like a little gauge for me. I'm just going to grab it. We probably don't even need this one. I say let's go ahead and kill it then, because no reason to have it this cluttering the issue. And I'm going to rotate this one, and we're going to do this at 45 as well. It's where we're back to what we had with the other guy. But in this one, we can actually, we know this is actually 3 squares across. So very handy there. And with this, I'm also going to go V, set that at the very end. And now I know I can snap this end to that line right there. And we'll have 3 across, or we should. So with that, and to be kind of safe again, I'm going to select this line here, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to grab it and sort of snap it right there. And we just need to make something kind of in between here. It's not really important that we make it exact. I could, I guess, move the points around to where it is, but not 100% necessary. I'm just going to extend this point out, in fact, like that. We can do the other from here the same way. This is a lot more work than probably is needed to do this. Then we can kill these other lines. In fact, let's break that one apart. You just come here and go to, where's it at? Unjoin. And then we can click on that guy and delete it. We could also trim these, but you know, same difference. It's going to get that one we want to keep. And then now we're going to take these and we are going to rejoin these up. Now that we have the other things out of the way that shouldn't be there, including this little guy right here. And now we're going to take our J key, hit that, join. It's not joining, but I believe we can still trim. Am I right? These, no, we cannot. Those we can, just because they're sort of extraneous anyway. I'll bet they're not on the same level, which they are not. You can see that one is way too low. So we're just going to grab these guys here with our edge or curve select, all three. We're going to join those together now. And I'm going to grab those and move them up to match the height of this line. We're good to go. Now we can see we can make our piece here. So I'm just going to grab that and we're going to pull that down to the bottom. This did not have to be that convoluted, just so you know. These are just going to be our little guys. We're going to delete. Now we've got our corner brace. What's cool about that now, and makes this really easy, is I can take that Alt exit to this side, and then we can take, oops, that's not what I wanted. Sorry about that. I forgot to accept it. So Alt X, swap it to here, right click to accept, and then we're going to Alt X while those are still highlighted and flip them this way. And now we have this whole lovely framework. It's that simple, folks. Very, very simple in this program. I'm going to take all of these. Hopefully it'll let me do what I'm about to. I sound like a crisscross song. And I am going to simply grab the edges, and let's grab all the edges here like so. And we're going to B, and I'm going to try and just kind of chamfer all these. And now it'll look like they've got a little space in between them, as though they are actual boards that are stuck together, and you know, they're not perfectly 100% flush at the ends where they all look like one piece. All right, so cool. With that, now the next thing you would need to think about is like a axle system or something. This guy's got a roll, and we're thinking medieval fantasy here, so more than likely I would think that they don't have a really great system for doing so. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines after all. They're distracting. And I think we need to build this whole axle system. So wheels in front, wheels in back. They make the bus go round and round. So let's go ahead and say from the side, I want to make a sort of, I'm thinking maybe some type of half round with a hole in it. Maybe just a really ugly banding, you know, that holds that on there. I think we could do better than that though. So let's go ahead and make some type of circle that is going to essentially tell us where the axle is going to be. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and probably make an axle just so we can see it. If you click in the middle here and start to extrude, and while you're doing that, hit your tab key, you'll get the ability to pull that out both sides. I'm going to tap that just so it's accepted. I'm going to get rid of that circle for now. And that's going to essentially be our front axle. We might make those bigger, but I think that's probably okay. Maybe a tad bit bigger, because I don't know what they could make this out of other than a log. Maybe some metal. Maybe there was, you know, some metal smithing of that kind. I think there was. So I'm going to try and deselect everything here and grab this guy, drop it down just a little more. I want a little more connection or something going on there. I'm going to make some kind of sleeve or collet that this fits in. So this is going to be in one of the standard tutorials for plasticity, and I'll probably wind up doing this one as one. I'm just going to make a circle, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a second circle. As a matter of fact, you can just duplicate this one and resize it, and get that about to here. We'll move all this down if necessary later. And I'm going to take the middle of this and pull it up. Now that isn't our axle. That's a separate piece. So this is just the collet piece. I'm going to grab that and the curves here just to get those out of the way, separated so it makes more sense. It looks like it's not going to let me do it just yet. So grab, move now. Nope, not yet. Okay, so we can't move those together, but all I was going to do was take this piece and just pull it up higher to where we had a kind of a little system there going. And in fact, let's go ahead and merge. Now let's just go ahead and move these now that we can out here. And I'm going to delete those curves so they're not confusing anymore. And I'm thinking of making this collet. It's going to have to be bigger than this, but I'm thinking about making this guy even like double-sided. We'll see. So let's go ahead, and this right now is the exact same width as the pipe. We do not want that. So to change that with this type of modeling, all you have to do is grab the side and pull that open more. It's crazy. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with this piece as well. This is going to be like our kind of the axle bushing, or the the part that the axle actually fits through. So looking over here at our X-ray view, we can now see how big that axle will be. In fact, if you want, this is something not a lot of people know, you can grab that curve right there, and instead of adding a brand new curve, you can just Shift D it and then bring it up and snap it to the surface here, and now you have a new perfectly sized curve there. And I can grab this with it selected now for extruding. I can go W, which gives me the code of removing it from stuff. I'm going to grab both of these, and then we're going to pull this through them and right click, and we should have a hole through everything. I'm going to right click that to be done. Now granted, I get confused here. This is a new thing in plasticity. Being able to now you can navigate the same way as usual, but when you right click on something, and I'm sorry, when you like say middle mouse click to pan and stuff, to rotate, I mean, you get that little purple dot right there that you can see that you're orbiting around. So I have to get used to that. Anyway, let's just go back, delete that curve, and I'm going to take these two pieces and join them together. If I was going to go ahead and make that double-sided, now's the time to do it. So I think what I'm going to do is just grab this and pull it over until, with the V for my pivot move here, and just move this over until I can snap it to this surface here, which should be the case. Let's just look here. I don't think I've done it. No, why haven't I? Let's go ahead, V again, snap it to this edge, and now move this until that. And still, yeah, that should be, because this one starts here and this one starts here. We're good. So now I'm going to take all of these, and we're going to just mesh them completely together as one object. And depending on how this piece was made, I think I'm going to just kind of give it that sort of smoother welded kind of appearance there. I'm going to go ahead, I think, on these guys, on the outsides anyway, and I'm going to sort of give them a little bit of a smooth edge. And on the insides of these now, I'm going to give these a chamfer so they look like more separate and sort of hollowed out or whatever from the axle here. All right, so with that, we're going to wind up moving all of this down, I can already tell you, because this is going to get real tight fitting very quick. Just go from the front here. I'm going to grab that Just sort of pull all these down. I'm trying to decide how much space we need to attach this to this. So let's just look from the side now. And I'm trying to be as simple as possible, but also in kind of a thought out way. Let's go ahead and say from here, maybe to here, or maybe even here, because maybe that needs a little more, you know, bracing, and it would only help that guy. So we're going to go from here to here, and I'm going to go just to the center of the wheel, hit shift, so that way it gives me a line to come out. That did not work, so I'm going to go here and go here and shift and line out and right click. Then I can join those two curves together. I think that's going to work. And then we're going to mirror that with Alt X. We're going to use the freestyle by hitting F. And then I can just go like so and move it up and right click, and we're good. So now with those curves, I need to come in and select this curve and this curve, join them together just to be safe. And I'm going to make another arc here. So all I have to do on this one is click that circle, shift duplicate that edge, right click it to accept, and then I have to cut away that piece. So I'm just gonna go like so. I'm gonna hide our little piece we just made, this whole end piece, by hitting H. And with that like so, all I have to do now is come in and with my scissors here, my trim tool, snip this curve, and all is ready to go. It's back from the front. We're going to go ahead and turn that extruded piece back on that was turned off. And I'm going to go back into face mode and select this face. I'm going to rotate around here. And you notice this kind of comes off from that little cullet there, or that little, that little fillet there. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to see if I can move this face, or actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this fillet by just hitting the delete key. Then, and you can't do that with everything, by the way. I'm going to grab that again. I'm going to say G for grab, pull it up and snap it to the required edge. You know what? I took those apart, so now we need to make sure we have all of it. I'm going to go ahead and J for join on that. And then we're going to grab the whole thing, and I'm just going to snap it to this edge right here, to where it will be in line and part of that piece. So now, when we finally get to select this and extrude it back, we're going to snap it to this, but look, we've got the same problem here. I'm going to undo that. We got to delete this chamfer, or this fillet as well, real quick, just by highlighting it. Not a lot's been done to it, so it will allow us to still do that. But now we can take this, move it back, snap it to that edge, and that piece is essentially created. Cool. Let's get rid of our curve there. And if and when we want, we can take both of these pieces, which I think I will, and just join them together, Q, Q, and now we've got that. I'm not making a cute sound. That's actually me hitting the Q twice. Q, Q. All right, and so from the side now, I think we're going to take this whole piece and just slide it over. So let's look at it from the front. We're going to put it right in the center of this guy. So I'm going to grab it, slide over, and you can find the center here and let that kind of snap into place. And then we'll have this axle holder bit. I don't know what you would call that. The actual shank, not the shank, but you know what I mean. Sleeve, something or other. There's a name, and my brain's just farting right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a rectangle here. Just going to shift here so we can get that to be able to come out. And now we're going to have like so. I'm going to go grab these points because they weren't really intended to be that high. And pull these down, snap them to this bottom edge as well. And now when we come over here, we can do the same thing again. We're going to have to move this piece over though, this curve. So let's find it. And there we go. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to slide over to, you know, around where we think this needs to be. And let's right click to accept. And I'm going to grab this piece here. I'm going to look from the front. And I'm going to try to somewhat center this, you know, by eye though. It's handmade, so I'm not worried about it. All right, cool. Well, with that this way, let's go ahead and we're going to click on it and this. And we're going to QQ to put those together as one unit. I'm going to leave them sort of like they are at the moment. I am, however, going to grab the corners. Let's take it off of X-ray mode and see this a little better. And I'm going to Alt-Shift-Control-Select those points or those edges. I'm going to push them into where we get a chamfered edge, and they look a little more like steel plating, I think, when they have that sort of edge to them. Okay, cool. So there is step one of that. I'm going to have a drink of my tea, which has been sitting here. That's good. You see my catapult sword?
What is it?
I am making a catapult.
Looks good so far.
Yeah, that's the framework right there. See? Frame.
Oh, nice.
So with that, we're going to want these on all corners. So I'm going to go back and find it. We are going to use the shortcuts and whatnot here. We are going to Alt-X, and I'm going to flip this to that side. With those still connected, we're going to Alt-X and flip those to the other. And then we're also going to Alt-X this rear axle, and we're already set up pretty far along now. I think it's looking great myself. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick save on this. This is going to wind up going in a probably just a random folder. No, I'm kidding. This is going to wind up going into a folder really quickly for some 3D objects that I make and sell. So we're just going to call this what, catapult? I mean, what else would I call it? Oh, the cat meow, so probably dogapult. My bad. All right. Cat's playing with her mouse. Okay, so now, a lot of this is not going to be seen unless you're underneath, but I like to include all of that in case. I'm also going to make sure that these wheels, or axles I should say, are pulled out far enough, because right now we'd have bike tires on there if we threw those wheels on it. So we're just going to pull these out a little extra, like so. And then I'm going to start laying down some boards, I hope, here that will hopefully make some sense. So right here from the top, let's grab just a rectangle here, corner rectangle. And I'm just going to go like, well, from the inside, because I'm probably going to cover these particular boards maybe with a railing or something on the edge. But screw it. Let's just do these from here. And I'm going to go about, let's see. And we also need our X-ray on so you guys can see what I'm doing. But I just want to go kind of about from, maybe from here. And this really depends on how big this thing is. So why not? Let's just go ahead about that long. And then I'm going to duplicate it again here. But before we do, we need to make sure we extrude it upward here. So let me grab the curve, make sure it's sitting on top, which it kind of is and kind of isn't. So let's grab it, pull up, and sort of snap it to the top. It looks like it's sort of between the top and whatever's next to that. So there we go. Now we can pull this board up. Now, these are going to be just real clean to start with. I'll go back and mess them up in something like Substance or, ZBrush or whatever. But for now, I'm just going to take these and kind of plankify that like so. And I'm going to sort of random pattern these guys across this manually. So I'm just going to duplicate, pull this down, make a little tiny, maybe not even a space, because these are going to get chamfered anyway. And I'm going to grab the new one and duplicate that one and do this number. Now, the end, we're just going to cut it. So with that one selected, I'm just going to grab it, make a line to approximately where it needs to be cut. If it's not perfect, it's totally fine. We're going to click on the object, hit C, hit the curve, right click, and delete, and we're good to go on that piece. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take these two boards, duplicate, move them over the amount we need, and I'm going to slide them down kind of halfway-ish like so. Maybe that long. How about that? And instead of cutting this off, we don't necessarily need to do that. I can actually go in here to the end face of this and just push it back up and make it, match with whatever. And if it's not 100% perfect, it's fine, because it will actually pretty much look better if it's uneven. So let's take this one now, duplicate that, run that down. And then once we get a few boards, we can just duplicate that pattern all the way across. So there's multiple ways you can do the same thing. It's kind of what I'm trying to show you, I guess. Let's zoom out here, because even from the top here, I can come in here with a line, click it even kind of off like that, and by clicking here and cut and snap that, and now we can cut that dude short. And you're starting to see where this is going. Here's a cool thing you can do next, though, to kind of make this workflow go faster, is I can take this whole section, I can duplicate it, pull it over here, and then we can rotate this 180 degrees, of course. So, there's no other number, 180 or 90 or 270, something like that. And we can go ahead, grab that, and now we've got kind of an opposite pattern, of course, of these, but you kind of can't tell is that. And then we could take all of them, and with those still selected, and we can duplicate that and then turn the whole bunch of them around, and that makes it a little better. And if you want that even more random, you can actually shift the whole lot of them over. Let's just go 180 and grab these and move them over. And if you wanted to, like I said, you could, so you don't see a repeating pattern, you can even come in here and do this, right? And you can, from the top now, come in here and snap a line somewhere around here. You could grab these dudes. Let's say that one you can just delete. This one, and this one, and cut them with that line and delete those. So now we have an even more random pattern. And then we could even throw this guy as a copy down at the foot of this guy. We could extend, we could do the same thing here too. And no one's gonna know, I mean, at all, how this worked out. You could even make that shorter, longer, however it needs to be. It's almost better if they do come across completely, but unless we have a OSHA checking this out, I wouldn't worry too much about it. And then grab these, sort of pull them, relatively regular. I wouldn't even worry about getting it right at this point, because they, what's going on here? They don't, it doesn't matter if they are. The more irregular something like this, the better. Come on now, why aren't you selecting? Right here, thank you. pull this one down. Oh, I don't think I accepted it twice. This one can come down now. Same way. Accept. So there you go. Starting to work out really well. And I say let's just take, starting over one more time with the actual objects this time, and just kind of go for the first 3 rows again. We can even opposite these first 3 rows if we really wanted to get crazy. So duplicate, move that over. And if it's not the right width, even better, because we could cut that. I'm not going to worry about how perfect it is left and right, but let's go into the top here now. And we will trim that somewhat, like right about here. And with that, we can select, let me just turn off the X-ray. This is underneath, so that's why it looks like it's not sitting on top of it, right? But we're going to select this one and this one and this one, cut it, grab that line, delete everything. So there we go. We've got our main platform already knocked out. And if we wanted to be a little better about this, we can select all these planks now at once. I recommend doing this kind of thing to where you're going to have less headaches later if you take care of things as you go. So with this done, matter of fact, I probably should just hide these other things, so I'm going to have to select the edges instead. So let's just grab all the other stuff, including the boards, but not the under stuff, and just hide that. And now we can take all of these boards. We're going to grab the edges. So we're going to grab edges, select, grab all their edges. And with that done, we're going to hit B, and we're going to move this little guy until we get a bit of a chamfer. Not a rounding, but a chamfer, because it'll be, see, that's the rounding we don't want. We want this to be chamfered so that they are a little more squared and also have less polygons. Let's see if we can attempt this one more time. Something went awry. So we're going to go B. It's probably because I moved them back and forth so many times. Back the other way a little bit now. Just there. Right click, and we're good to go. So that'll definitely help everything look a little more real. And let's get rid of this here, and we're good to go. Let's just go ahead and unhide everything else. And there is a secret code for that. I already forgot. I think it's the period key. So let's just see. There's that, and that only hides and unhides what you already have selected. So we're gonna have to just do this part manually. And now you can hide and unhide everything like soloing it, which is cool. So if I select just like say this and hit the period key, everything vanishes but that, and then everything comes back. Pretty cool. So now that we have this main portion done, I mean, that's actually quite a lot of work already. I'm going to think about some cool wheels for this guy, but let's just do basic wheels to start with, and we'll get to the coolness later. What, dear? What?
Oh, I'm just trying to select something.
All right, so I'm going to go this big maybe, and I'm going to grab that, move this in to about where I want these to kind of sit and not hit anything they're not supposed to. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the face here, which is 3, do this number and pull this out in a decent width, because if they're too narrow, they dig into the sand and they won't pull. And if they're too wide, then they're just cumbersome and stupid. All right, so with that, this is going to be kind of like our internal wheel. This is going to need to have some kind of either metal flat, you know, hammered into the outside, plates or something, or edging, or maybe even both. So let's start this process. I think first I can, I think what I want to do is duplicate this face, And then we're going to make it a little bit narrower, like so. And then that particular face, I am going to grab here. Make sure it's the correct one, which this is not. I should have scaled it. Hang on. Undo. Gotta love that undo. So that is selected. I'm going to need to scale it a little bit from the center, just a tiny bit. Well, that's a lot more than a tiny bit. Let's go just a little less than that, because this is just going to be a, there we go, like a plate, you know what I mean, like an amount. So to give this sort of banding, protective banding thickness, I think we should go even a little less, because yeah, I like that. It's a little more like metal, if that makes sense. So then with that inside of that surface here, we're going to thicken the sheet by coming here and clicking on thicken. That was good. And we're going to thicken this toward the inside, and we're just going to go enough to, you know, where it basically touches the other. If we want some serious detail on that, we could also fill it or chamfer those edges. I need to find this sheet though, because it is still only considered a sheet. So now I need to come in here and do a patch on it, and that's going to make it a solid object. And now I'm going to come along, grab its edges on, where is that internal edge? Might have made this a little too, I'm going to be able to grab that. I'm just going to grab this and hide the wheel. Some folks might say, Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah, I mean, whatever they like. And I'm going to select the inside face here now. This one's got to go. So we're just going to push that over to wherever it can. I might even have to delete this section, because that really shouldn't even be here anymore. Let's find out. Still looks like we got a piece in there. That is just for the banding part. The other part has been turned off. So I'm going to try and, yeah, on the face mode, you can just go Shift X, and that should remove that face, and we can do the same thing. Come on now, trying to get that navigation down that I'm not used to. And this one should also remove there. So we just have that banding part. These lines here can be easily removed. There's a favorite I have selected right here called delete redundant topology. And with the proper thing selected now, we'll try that, and it will remove anything that's not necessary. Those seem to think it's necessary. I do not. So once again, I'll try now just to take it off by deleting the actual edge. It doesn't want to do that. I don't know what's up with that, but let's try to get rid. I think it's still seeing that inner part as a sheet of its own, possibly. So we're going to grab this from the outside, maybe. Yep. Let's go ahead and delete it. There we go. So now, if we turn our wheel back on, this is what we have. We have two solid objects, and I can come in here with this edge, this one, and the same way on the other side now. This one and this one. I think I missed that other top one. There we go. And now we can chamfer those a little bit, and what that's going to do is give those a little bit of an edge, and it's going to kind of look like there's some separation between the two materials there. Then there'll be all kinds of detail put on, like the sculpting phase, which we'll do in either Blender or ZBrush. But until then, let's just get rid of this circle, and we're going to select these outer edges and give those a little chamfer as well for now. Just gives them that little bit of a more solid look. We do need to make a hole through this stone part, but also, and I say stone, it's not stone, this big giant piece of wood, really, or chunks of wood, which is a possibility, because this is going to take a massive tree, or we could have taken maybe multiple chunks of wood and put those in there all together in a configuration to make those solid. I'm trying to think that out, because otherwise that's one big massive tree. But it is fantasy. So let's find our center and pull out an area that we could now make another little hub that has to go like a lock for the wheel. We're going to have to flip this over to the other side as well. So let's go ahead and grab that and move it up against the wheel itself. We are going to cut a hole with this one for starters. So let's just go ahead and grab the wheel, and we're going to say cut with that. Thank you very much. And we have our hole. And then I'm going to take the edge of that. Let's just hide that curve for the moment. We're going to take this edge and this edge, and that should be gone. It doesn't look like it's gone now, does it? And we're going to sort of push those back and right click. Not sure why we got another piece here, but I'm going to figure that one out as well. It looks like we have some other kind of sleeve inside. I don't know why that happened. That's easy enough to take care of. I don't think it's an extra object, or is it? It is. Okay, cool. Well, we can delete it easily enough. And then now we can go ahead and make this little collar. That's what I'm talking about. Right here on this dude. So we can unhide the circle we had, which was our starter circle, I guess you could call it. Don't know why that's not coming back up. Oh, we're in that mode still. Hang on. There we go. And click and back. So now I want to sort of maybe size that out a little bit. Let's just grab it, maybe scale it out slightly, because we're not going to see anything of that wheel. That's just to make it proper, I guess. Not a big deal. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and make another circle. And we're going to size that one up. And it's going to be, whoa, what did I do? It's going to be the collar once I grab it. I think I grabbed the wrong thing there. Let me just find my circle. There we go. And we're going to duplicate it, scale that one up for sure. And that'll give us a bit of a, yeah, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to make this come out with the thickness a little bit like so. You down with that? Down with that thickness? And then we're going to, let's just get rid of these for the moment. I'd rather make new ones so I don't get confused. And I'm going to make another one. It's going to go, and actually another two, because this one's going to go right on the outside of that. And then we're going to do it again, and this one's going to go right outside of it. So like that. And then we're going to pull this guy out from the other. So let's just move the curves. This one and this one. We'll grab it, slap it up against the wheel. Right there-ish. Maybe. Nope, that's wrong. We're going to grab it, and we're going to move it with this arrow right up against the wheel. And then I can grab this piece and pull that out where it goes, like so. I think that's working. We can meld the two of these together by selecting both of them in QQ and get rid of the curves now again. I don't think we need any of those curves, do we? Let's just right click to accept and delete. How you guys doing? Nobody's talking. You are allowed. Okay, chamfer here. And a chamfer here. Adds a little separation. And then we're going to go with a, I think, a little chamfer on both of these. And to make these feel a bit more, I don't think those melded together. There we go. And to make these feel a little bit more like a single unit, Let's go ahead and give it a slight round as though it was sort of welded together. Or forged together is a better word. I'm going to leave that straight for now, and let's just kind of take a look at this wheel. It is plain, but it is big and good. Volvo, they're boxy, but they're good. Let's go ahead and take this. We're now going to mirror it to the other side of the wheel. This axle's in the way, but don't worry about that. And I am going to Alt X, then F, and just pick some point. Don't know why I am not able to find a point to do this on. I'm going to go from the top, I hope. Okay, so let me escape that. And I'm going to make a line that just cuts across from here to here. And now I can find the center of this line, like so. This helps me mirror stuff. So I'm going to go from there. I'm going to grab that guy again. We're going to Alt Exit, and then we're going to go F. Then I'm going to pick this line. And if you can see, pow, it drops right over. We're good to go. And now I can get rid of my little lines here. Mary had a little line. Yeah, cool. So there is all of that for that assembly. We need to figure out what we're doing here, though. I don't want stuff breaking, falling apart. This is supporting a lot of weight. So we need also something to give this some tread. And I saw a design, or I made one up, I don't remember which it was, long time ago. Must have been back when I liked the Cotton Eye Joe. I'm going to just make a little line right here, something about this long. And then I'm going to make a couple of others that sort of come from, let's go about here to here to here, something similar. It does not have to be perfect. And then I'm going to get rid of this middle guy. And then I'm going to make sure that these guys are definitely on the same plane. I'm going to, yep, that is one curve. We're good there. And I'm going to round that just a little bit in advance to make sure that that is all good. So with the points selected, I'm going to go to my fillet tool and try to pull that in rounded slightly. We could do them sharp, but I think that that will look a little bit better. I'm also, now that I think about it, probably just going to go ahead and make a line across the bottom for just completing this the right way so it does work. Imagine that too. And grabbing the whole thing and joining it, and then grabbing it again, moving it over about where I might want these to start. That looks good. Makes it a little more interesting if it's not perfectly on the edge. And I'm just going to take this one guy, click on it, and I'm going to just pull it across until it's about the same width from the other side. And we'll have that piece. I'm now going to get rid of that, and now we have this sort of solid piece that's attached to this other, metal piece. And to make this really cool, because I don't want to sit there and make 1,000 little pyramids all night, I'm just going to take that guy, it's the actual object part here, and I'm going to do a cool trick with our radial array tool. Click right in the middle, and then I can say add this many more, and it's going to add a ton. So cool, good to go, just like that. If we wanted to, we could QQ them together, make one object, and then we could go ahead and queue it with the tire itself, or the metal banding part itself, and have this this wheel done, good to go. It's a little bit spiky, it's a little gear-like. I don't know if I like it that much. Let's undo a ways, because I think I'm going to try to make this just a little more subtle. Let's just get our point back off of there for the moment. There we go. I'm going to make these a little lower. It feels a little bit large and spiky to me. Too much for what I was trying to do anyway. And the easy way to do that is just to grab that point and pull that farther down. There we go. This will be a little more low profile. And the cat wants me to go to bed. So I'm just going to keep going and ignore that cat because that's what she deserves. Kidding. I'm going to go here. Get it, kitty. Never mind. Grab over to, you know, somewhere respectable, I guess, like that. And we're going to add that bottom rung. Just remembered. Let's go ahead and get this across from here to here. You have to have X-ray mode on. Let's do this again so we can actually see those endpoints. It's very helpful. Now that we have a plane, we could run this like we did before. I'm going to wait to round it. You'll see. I'm going to go from here, pull this across till, you know, somewhat the same. It is a much lower spike. It's still relatively predominant though. I'm going to go ahead and pull out that polyline there. Let's get rid of our see-through. And on this dude, we're just going to go ahead and grab the edge of it right here. And I'm just going to round it here, just to make it a little more lifelike, believable. I'm also going to grab this and this one and round these slightly so they're not razor sharp. And with that, let's go ahead, grab our radial array, pop those on, and we're done. That's amazing. Even though it's still spiky, it's not as goofy as it was a second ago. Okay, so I'm thinking I might want to put some kind of banding around the edge of this wheel just to give it a little more structure. I mean, if these logs were to split, it would come apart in like 9 pieces, right? You can't have that. I mean, it's not a race car, but still. For what I would do, grab this curve, duplicate this curve, scale that curve to about, come on, something like that-ish. Sounds good. And we should have 2 of them. No? Is this? No, we need to make a duplicate here of the same one. So let's duplicate it again here. And now we can take this guy and pull this out a bit. Right click, get rid of this inner circle. Inner circle, how funny. Just had a thought about something I hadn't thought about in a long time. Delete that, probably delete that. Okay, and now we've got this rim, and I am going to attach this with some little brackets that come up from it and go onto this portion of the log. I said log. And then now it will be cooler because it will be realistically reinforced. I'm going to take a square here, maybe a central square, just to make sure it's right on the center line. And I'm just going to say, all right, let's do this. No, I hit this at the wrong part, but it's all right. We can do it from here just the same, like this. And now I can just pull down those points, not worried about it. Grab it like you want it. And this will just kind of somehow come into this area. We're going to make another curve here in a second. So I'm just going to grab the entire square that we just made. If it will, there we go. Grab, move this out to where we're on the surface. And, yep, I'm going to go ahead now from the side where we were. And I am going to make a choice. I'm going to go from here, somewhere here, somewhere here. And then I'm going to pull a couple points down. And we're going to pull these other ones down too. These two, for one. I could have done this in a simpler way, but hey, who wants to do that? Somewhere here. Good. And then I can take these two and sort of push those down. Yeah, I got this all wrong, didn't I? I meant to get these two up here. There we go. And then these two follow that, obviously. Snap to this. So we have a similar kind of curve situation. Then I'm going to get rid of this line. That becomes all one thing. And from the side, I have to keep measuring this from the side, otherwise it doesn't make sense. That is the top of that. So this now should, let me just drop these a little. They didn't need to be as curved as I thought. Now we're going to make another one on top of that, this same line. Duplicate, grab this one and pull it up about this thick-ish, and then we're going to connect. And of course, connect these. Don't know why I did that. Escape, please. Thank you. We're going to connect this one and this one. Cool. That's what we want. Now, believe it or not, I can take this and this and go this way. It's my little bracket. And I can go this way with this side out to where we hammer that into our wheel. Good to go. I'm going to put these together with QQ. Then I'm going to take the edge, fillet that out some like so. And we can worry about a lot of this later, but I have to actually get the parts of this first, so I'm not having to do this part 30 times, if that makes sense. So if I get all the details of one, the details of all the other ones are done automatically. So something like this, just to get it a little more medieval style. Maybe a tiny little roll here, just for catching the light. I guess these didn't get it, but they will. Oh, they will. Okay, so those three, let's get these three on the bottom. Looks like, there we go. I was looking through it. Something bugged out my eyes there for a minute. I was like, what in the world is happening in Mayberry? And I'm going to pull those out, try and match those to some degree. And we should be good all around. I'm not going to really worry. Well, yes, I am. Of course I am. That's what I do. I'm going to go ahead and get this one just a bit more smooth as well. Okay, good enough. And then we need a bolt for this. We're going to use round head bolts because hex heads were not so common. I'm just going to go like about like, yeah, maybe that. We're going to move it over a little bit because we can't have that in that little trench there, right? Right. And so with that, it's going to go with a very flathead-ish sort of rounded flathead, if that makes sense. Where's my edge here? 2 is what I was looking for. I'm just going to pull this out until we get kind of a thing like so. Rounded rivet, rivet, rivet. And I am going to copy that. There is a way to paste this on this other face. I think it's Control-Alt-V. Nope. It is Shift-V, Control-Alt-V, Alt-V. No. Okay, so we're going to just paste Control V. Didn't work. Copy, paste. And now we're going to move this. Rotate 90, because I can't remember how to do that. I will look that up tomorrow, though, because it's one of the cooler, faster features here. And with that, now I can just grab this and snap it right to it. No problem. If we grab our edge snap somewhere here. This should have taken half the time, at least. Okay, and then we can snap this down to this surface. And that looks pretty good. Worth the time, right? And then I can now grab this and this and this. Let's go ahead and put them together. It's all iron. And from here, for some reason the bolts are not. I guess they're a little bit above the surface, so I'm going to grab that and pull it down a little bit more. This one a little bit more in. That one's already connected, so we're good. But let's go ahead and get this one and this one. QQ, we're good. And get rid of our circle so that we don't have to look at it. And then decide how many of these we want. So at least 8, I say. So let's go ahead and radial array that. Way too many of them, obviously. And knock this down to something a lot more manageable, like 12. Looks good, and done. So now we have a reinforced ring that's bolted on there. If we wanted to, we can make some spines go into the center. I think that might be kind of cool. Let's give it a go. It'll take like 1 minute to do. Might as well. And they will go right up against that. So just make let's just grab a regular rectangle because I don't know where it's going to start. And we're just going to go from about here to something like that. Okay, and we'll never see where that embeds. We can also cut that away without any problem. And I'm going to grab the face and just pull this down and make sure that we hold control to snap it to that inner corner here. And that's good. Let's go ahead and get rid of the rectangle. If we don't like the size, we can always change this. That's not bad though. I don't want it to look wimpy. I think it's fine for now. We'll leave it. And I'm going to go ahead and radial array that part around our, let's grab the part and radial array it around our hub here. And that looks pretty good. I say we go with that. The inner side I'm not going to worry about just yet. Yes, I am. Come on, y'all knew I was going to say that. Let's just grab all the hardware now, except for that cap. Make sure we've got it all. I think so. Let's not grab the cap. Let's not grab the wheel. Jesus got the wheel, apparently. And let's not grab this either. I'm trying not to grab the wheel, so maybe like so. Not the wheel. I don't know why it's grabbing the wheel. I kept telling it not the wheel. And not this for sure. And not the wheel. Let me just go up and like so. Maybe we had to get it lower. Huh. You piece of garbage. I know how to do this. I just have to hide the wheel, which is fine. Hide. Goodbye. And then, do we have more than one wheel? Why won't this wheel hide? This is troubling. I'm going to go ahead and hide. There we go. Almost feel like there's more than one wheel. And also, this middle part I just realized has to absolutely be joined together, because this is the teeth for that. And there we go. Now it's one object. But now we're going to have to grab these dudes and flip them over. So we're just going to go like so. We're going to deselect this and this. Should be good. I always double check. And then we're going to Alt X. We're going to click F. And we're going to tell it go across this middle. Like that. Right click again. That is good to go. And I think that all that can now, well, it won't become one, but maybe we can get all from this side to become one. Make sure we don't select the things we don't want, like that rim. And then we can go QQ. It is still not going to work there. It's probably because some of those are raised up a little too high. Totally fine though. Let's go ahead and bring our wheel and stuff back. Make sure nothing else is hidden. Looks like we're good there. And some of those I might have to adjust just to make sure they're not hidden. But that is a single wheel. And I think that looks pretty darn good. So this is, that piece is definitely one. So that's good to know. And let's, I'm going to rename this as wheel tread. That way we'll know. And since we're unable to put all of this in, together, I mean, we don't really want to anyway. I'm going to hide this guy real quick. And this. I'm going to select everything in this wheel. We're not going to bond it together, but we are going to put it into its own folder, which they moved the folder icon up here. And now we're going to go up here and call this wheel. And then we can unhide our things like our axles and so forth. And now we're going to put the four wheels where they go on this dude. So with the wheel selected, we have to open this, unfortunately, and then click on this solids. I don't think I also put the wheel tread in there, which we definitely should. So let me find that. And where did we put that? I know I renamed it. It's that guy right here. I guess it's in there. Let's see, in the solids here. Wheel tread is definitely in there. But when I select, oh, never mind. We got it all. I don't know why that's so difficult, but yes, good to go. We're going to duplicate. I don't think I can duplicate the folder, but I can definitely duplicate the solids in here. So we're going to duplicate that. And we're not going to duplicate it. What we're going to actually do is mirror this. So Alt X, and we're going to go across this way. I'm going to right click that, open this solids folder, because we have to make sure that all of this stuff highlighted gets moved to a new folder. So I'm going to, while holding that, click the new folder icon. If we have to move that group out of the other group, we will. So this is solids of this and solids of this. So this is group 2, and this is going to be group 1 apparently. So I want to move this out of here though, if we can. I don't know if it will let me, but yeah, group 2 and wheel. So this is going to be wheel 1 and wheel 2. So we can hide that as an entire wheel apparently. And that is definitely this one. This one, I don't know why I'm not able to hide it. Maybe I have to hide these solids here. Maybe there's none left in here. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's not hiding. Good question. Okay, so anyway, now we can take these other 2 wheels. I got to figure out why that's doing what it's doing here. And we're going to duplicate those. So group, let's just use wheel here. Hopefully that, and let's do it this one. I don't know why they're both highlighted. I think I have solids from both of them in the same one. So let's go ahead and remove all of these, because apparently we have more than we need of one in another folder. So my bad. That all can be included, right? Good to go. And that's going to be in group 2's folder, and we don't want that because I think what we did was we just duplicate. But look, it's like there's a duplicate or something happening there. So now I've got to figure out how to get rid of it. Because as I select these, for some odd reason, those are selecting, but so are these, which I've never seen. I might have to come back to this. Let's find out where this is happening real quick. Luckily, this isn't a tutorial. You guys would not be happy right now. Let's see. So this is going to start all the way up from solid 12 and down to here. I'm going to see if I can just delete those. And now we have two separate groups, but man, why? Why would it do it that way? Don't know. I'm going to close that solids up. This is the wheel that should be only the back wheel, and this one should only be the front wheel. So that's how we want this. Not really sure why it did what it did like that, but that's okay. I'm going to make a new copy, I think, or a new folder for a new group. This is group 2. I'm going to pull that one out as well. And this one is going to be called wheel 3. And then once I get them situated, I will figure out, you know, what's what. So we're going to take the not that solid, but the solids from the wheel. And we're going to try to duplicate that. And I might just want to grab directly the solids instead of any folder, which I think it already did. And I am going to Alt-X those over to here. Right-click that. And now if we select only these and none of the axle, which it looks like I've got now, I can take those. What is this? We definitely want that too. But you see it's trying to select everything, so I'm going to unselect that business. And we're going to Control X. Nope. We're going to there's no edit cut on this. We're going to group select them items at root. So we've got this main platform. We've got group 4, which I'm still not sure what it's for. Group 3. Let's go up here. These solids are that wheel. These solids are this wheel. And these solids are this wheel. Okay, so we've got these groups here. Wheel 3. We got wheel 3. And we've got these that, in all honesty, could be called, this group could actually be moved into this group if it'll let me. So now we've got this we could turn off. We have this one we could turn off, and we have now this one we could turn off, but it doesn't, and I don't know why that is. Probably because there's nothing in it, and its solids should really be in there. That's odd. Okay, so unless those solids, you know, that's the main deal, and this is the actual group that those solids are now in. Okay, cool. They don't have to be in a group, but I'm just going to put them there and hope that that was the right choice. So now in this wheel, which will, I'm just going to delete that group because it's not being used and it's just confusing. Dissolve. We're going to take this wheel now, which is, got to open these up to the solids. I don't really care for that, but that's just me. And we're going to take this wheel. That's fine. It doesn't matter which one it is because we're just going to Alt exit. And we're going to do that from back to the front. Right click, be done. And then I'm going to figure out now, we should have done that at the root as it said. So let's figure that out. We're going to group selected items here. Let's duplicate. Let's just go ahead and make the group. So Alt exit here. So Alt X. Why is this not working? Oh, because I'm doing Control X. Alt X. That does help. Going here to where we have both. And let's just see where these are. I'm not sure. I don't know why that isn't an easier process. So we're going to go like this, and I'm going to deselect the axle and figure out where these guys are at. Now we can take those, right click them, and group them at the root. That is a new group there. Let's just close these up. Let's put these in the tire group, I suppose. So now these should be the different wheels. I need to rename them, obviously. So this one I think is going to be, back left. This one will be back right. Good spelling there. I do that all the time. This one is going to be front right. And then this one will be front left. Cool. Anybody enjoying this at all? Nobody talks. Nobody talks. Okay, I'm going to wind up putting some spikes and cool stuff, and we're going to do the flipper thing tomorrow, the actual catapult itself. So this is going to be, it's going to rename this if I can, or put it in a group. Let's just put it in a group. There we go. And we're going to call this body for now. Cool. All right, so let's save this thing, and we are good to go. And this is the first full day in Plasticity 2025.1. I think it's looking pretty good if we look at this in some form of a rendered view. Not bad. I'm going to take the lines off just to see what it looks like as an object unto itself. I think it's pretty cool. There's probably a lot of polygons in this even already, but I don't know. The machine can handle it. This is simple modeling though, really, so I'm not horribly worried about that, but I don't know what the poly count is, which would be nice. I mean, they can't really give a poly count because it's not polygons, but you get the idea. All right, so anyway, back to here. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Talk to you